On today's show, it's a rookie showcase for the Phoenix Suns in their final preseason game, taking down a mostly healthy Los Angeles Lakers team. And this Suns team just keeps checking all the right boxes. Let's talk about that and much more in this edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back into Locked On Phoenix Suns. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show mornings on YouTube, and a credentialed Phoenix Suns media member covering your Phoenix Suns 365 days out of the year. However you may be listening to the show, wherever you may be listening to Locked On Phoenix Suns, thank you so much for making me and this show a part of your day. Don't forget, Locked On Suns is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button. Do what thousands of others have already done. Become an everyday or get locked on the Phoenix Suns right here each and every day. Today's episode is also brought to you by our lovely friends over at Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Well, that is not what I was expecting. That's just not what I was expecting. What a fantastic way to cap off the Phoenix Suns' final preseason matchup against the Los Angeles Lakers as they gear up for their first regular season matchup next Wednesday against the Sacramento Kings. I literally just walked right through that door after the Phoenix Suns matchup with the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. I was at the game. Not a super lively environment. It be, if we're doing that PHX arena, whatever, the arena is called right now, like a vibe check, like Brendan Clean loved to do on this show. Not super lively. Definitely not a sold out crowd, but the crowd started to pop because of what this young core was showing. As I'm driving to the arena, I see a tweet notification from, I think Arizona Sports' Kellen Olson. And it's that the Suns are having basically everyone sit this game out outside of some rookies. I know obviously Devin Booker wasn't there, Dylan Brooks, but I want to get the exact players that didn't make it to this game today. It was no Devin Booker, no Grayson Allen, no Ryan Dunn, no Dylan Brooks, no Oso Ighodaro, Colin Gillespie, Nick Richards, or Royce O'Neal, in addition to Mark Williams and Jalen Green, who's Jalen Green re-aggravated that hamstring, which is going to keep him out a couple more weeks. We'll probably talk more about that tomorrow and what that means for the Suns. I want to talk about and focus on this game because as I'm driving into this game, I'm already thinking about things. What's kind of the storylines here? And it hit me pretty quickly. This isn't one I had to think about for a super long time. But if all those guys are out, we've seen the identity of this team 1 through 7. Brooks, Ighodaro, Gillespie, Richards, O'Neal, Booker, Allen, Dunn. We know the identity of those guys. But has this identity truly seeped down all the way from guy 1 down to guy 15? Well, tonight, really, guy 20. They were playing, dudes I'd never heard of before on this Suns team tonight. But it wasn't just that. It was a progress report game. They're like, oh, perfect. I just get to watch a game and focus on 3 players. 2 mostly, but a third one who we'll talk about in the later segments. Khaman Maluach and Rasheer Fleming. Not only were they the anchors, I believe, of this team win tonight against a Los Angeles Lakers team that had everyone available to them outside of one 50-year-old LeBron James. But I know Rasheer Fleming didn't shoot the ball with uber effectiveness tonight, but he was 3 for 7, had some pretty timely plays on the defensive end, only had 1 block, had a steal in this game, had a +3 ± in this game. But those 2 guys very much exemplified what this Suns identity is. And we won't dive super deep into that identity. We've done it numerous times, but it's have the entire team made a day 1 commitment to swarming the opposing team each and every night. We had Jason Timpf on the Hoops Tonight, or from the Hoops Tonight podcast on this show last week, and he said there were 3 different things on what makes a great defense. And one of those things was just a day 1 commitment. The Suns have not wavered from their very first game in the preseason to now. They have a day one commitment to defense. Every night it's not going to work. Sometimes an opposing team's going to come in and just shoot 80% from the field. That happens. But, what was it? 2 weeks ago when the Suns played their first preseason game against the Lakers, part of the reasoning why Lakers fans weren't panicking was because they were missing their top 2 scorers in this game, LeBron James, Luka Doncic. And it was, try to do that to us when we don't have our best or when we have our best players. Luka, kind of was doing his best Devin Booker impression in the preseason, just kind of working on his stuff. But Luka Doncic was 7 for 15 tonight. Shout out Jordan Goodwin, who I thought played some pretty timely defense on him in numerous instances in this game. He was 4 for 8 from 3. Marcus Smart never even attempted a shot. Austin Reeves shot 50% from the field and had side note, the free throw disparity that Austin Reeves gets from, opposing players, like the whistle he has is absolutely insane. But this game looked pretty similar to the first Los Angeles Lakers game about 2 weeks ago. The Suns suffocated this team with no-name players who won't be on this team a week from now and led by a couple of rookies. Khaman Maluach was awesome in this game. His transition points, get it blocking and getting out in transition, dunking the ball. Those are the types of things you missed for the Phoenix Suns last season. And how many times last year this old, often injured Phoenix Suns team would get ran out of the gym by younger, twitchier athletes and those teams? How many times would that happen? I'll answer all the time. The Suns are going to run older teams out of the building. The Suns match up really well with the Lakers. Suns are going to play them again, whether the Lakers are fully healthy or not, whatever that looks like. The Lakers, they're just an older team with either who are too dependent on LeBron James and Luka Doncic. And side note, I just think the Lakers might stink this year. This roster is not very good. I think LeBron James is finally losing that grip he usually has on teams. I think that's finally being loosened. And for the first time, he's not being fully accommodated. And Luka Doncic is the one they're planning around. But credit to the Suns. Check out some of these statistics in this game. The Suns led by Khaman Maluach, who's like 19 years old, can't even drink yet, and Rasheer Fleming, a second-round draft pick, forced 20 turnovers in this game. The Suns were down by 10 going into the half. The points conceded off turnovers, 26 for the Los Angeles Lakers. What does that mean? Getting out in transition. Suns had more points in the paint. They also fouled more. Lakers had more free throws. The Lakers shot 28 free throws in this game and still lost by double digits. Held to 44% from the field, 34% from 3. This was a progress report game on not just the rookies, but as the culture of a whole. Is this team a collection of pieces that all fit together in one big puzzle? This showed you yes. Everyone on this team is committed to what their job is. And no, it's not going to make them title contenders. But this is the foundation you have to lay. So one day, when you strategically add the correct pieces to this puzzle, the foundation is already there, and then you can be championship contenders. This is a step-by-step process, and the Suns are following it to a T. I did not expect to talk about this starting the show 3 hours ago. I would have said to you, the Lakers will probably win this game, but I'll be focused on one segment, Khaman, one segment, Rasheer, third segment, Koby. It's not the case. We're going to talk about those guys in just a second here. But this was a progress report game. How is everyone buying into the culture? And everyone is buying in. But it was led by a couple of guys. Khaman Maluach, Rasheer Fleming, Koby Brea. Let's talk about those guys, starting with the man of the hour, Khaman Maluach, and let's do it next. First, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Monarch Money. Have the wrong thing right there. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you could end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together on one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Listen, by the time you guys see this, me and my wife might be closing on our house. Like, we're closing very soon here. And we're already making these strategic changes to our budget. Hey, let's cut that. Let's cut this. And while we're doing it, we're seeing things on there we didn't even know we were paying for. Had I been using Monarch Money, that would have never been an issue. And I would have been able to cut those things and be able to have more money in my pocket. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends, the beautiful people over at Gametime. Basketball season is officially here. I would know. I was just at a game. And nothing beats in the arena for those opening games. But let's be for real. Getting tickets can be a total headache. Between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and prices that jump out right before checkout, it's easy to get frustrated with when all you want to do is cheer for your team. That's where Gametime comes in. The app that gives the fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets. Fast, easy, and stress-free deals. I only use Gametime when I'm getting tickets, whether it's the Diamondbacks, whether it's the Suns, or even the occasional Cardinal ticket or a concert. They don't just do sporting events. They do concerts. They do those things. I love being able to see exactly where I'm going to sit when I buy those tickets. There's not a weird pole in my way. My view isn't obstructed, and that's why Gametime is just simply the best. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. So I want to talk about Khaman Maluach. Listen, I know at times I can be a little in your face about my opinion. I don't mean to do that, but it's because when I feel very strongly about something, I want to be able to look back on it and say, oh yeah, that was right. Or oof, that was wrong. And well, two things tonight. One, just really quickly, actually, we'll get to that later. The biggest thing is Khaman Maluach was just awesome tonight. Just superb. On both sides of the floor, Khaman Maluach was an absolute beast. He shot one three-point jumper, nailed that three-point jumper. Luka Doncic was looking at him like daring him to shoot. It was almost like a heat check shot, although this guy hadn't shot the ball anywhere outside of 6 feet from the rim. But that promise, that confidence that comes with running up and down the court and getting into a young man's game, which is running up and down the court, getting out transition, playing stifling defense, all those things fit what Khaman Maluach is going to do right now. I was thoroughly impressed by him. What is one of the things I talked about with Khaman Maluach? One of the reasons why I love him is his superb athleticism. One of the reasons why he was my number one player that was reasonable for the Suns to get in the NBA draft, like outside of a Dylan Harper or a Cooper Flagg, he was right up there with my number one guy. And the Suns got him. And one of the reasons why I said I was so high on him was his superb athletic ability. That yes, he's raw right now. You're still kind of molding that NBA game, that offensive structure that needs to be translated into the 2025 game. But he's been playing for like 4 years now. The dude hasn't been playing basketball very long. One of the things that is going to carry him during this learning curve is his superb athleticism. And you saw him tonight catch a lob or two that weren't exactly in the vicinity, but if it was anywhere around the rim, it's Khaman Maluach's. It's like throwing up a 50-50 ball to a number one wide receiver in the NFL. It's either yours or it's no one's. It's either a touchdown or it's an incompletion. With Khaman Maluach, it's that ball is either ours or it's no one's. Come down with it. We'll reset the offense if need be. But that ball is either a dunk or we're kicking it back out to someone else. You saw the athleticism on display from the very first jump of this game. He tips a pass from DeAndre Ayton. And the Phoenix Suns go right down the court in transition and score. That was the first 30 seconds of the game. Not even 30 seconds. This was the first 27 seconds of the game. DeAndre Ayton gets a ball tipped by Khaman Maluach. Jordan Goodwin gets out in transition. They score. Suns are immediately up 2-0. That immediately is the Suns' game. And I've seen Khaman Maluach from the first game, which totally fair, some jitters, and I even said it after the first game. I'll give those guys a pass. It's their first game. Get their feet wet. Let's see how they look. Every single game, he has looked more comfortable on the floor. Every single game, he has looked like he has put a new puzzle piece together in his game. And if that is going to continue to progress, and rookies can kind of do this a little bit, you want to see more of this than you do this, which is you want to see more of the highs than you do the lows for my audio audience. I thought you saw a really big high today for Khaman Maluach. It's why I said to you guys last night, if Oso's going to play, it's going to be at the 4 spot. Because this trio, this threesome of Mark Williams, Nick Richards, and Khaman Maluach, I mean, you might be playing both those guys in some instances, and Oso Ighodaro is still going to struggle to be on the court. The Suns have a badass group of centers. They go from, Yusuf Nurkic and Mason Plumlee last year, and, spot starting Kevin Durant at times, to Mark Williams, Nick Richards, who's been awesome this preseason, and Khaman Maluach, who's coming off his best showing in the pros. And so, do I think this growth is going to be linear? Do I think he's just going to do this the entire time? No, he's going to be a rookie. He's going to look awful at times. He should still be the third string center for now, where he plays, 10, 15 minutes a night, maybe 10, 12 minutes a night. Him and Nick Richards kind of share that role a little bit. But here's the other thing. After Khaman Maluach's first appearance in the first preseason game, I remember seeing that he was taken out of the game without playing 5 consecutive minutes. He played 2 minutes. There was a break in the action because of the quarter ending. He played another 2.5 minutes, and the Suns pulled him out. And I was like, that's concerning, right? Is this conditioning not there? He played 31 minutes tonight, which I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I ever want to see Khaman Maluach playing 31 minutes a night at his size, his structure in his rookie season. He's got to kind of fill out a little bit. I don't want the guy getting hurt. I think that's kind of what happened with Victor Wembanyama a few years ago. Big player, body kind of wears down a little bit differently. But, for one preseason game, it's perfectly fine. And here's my final thought. I obviously was very high on Khaman Maluach coming out of the draft. He was my number 1 guy for the Suns to grab at the 10th overall pick. And I think tonight was the first night where I thought to myself, the other 3 nights were, again, this steady growth. It's not linear, just this steady growth. Tonight was the first night watching Khaman Maluach where I'm kind of saying to myself, yeah, that's going to work. That's going to work. I don't know in what form or fashion. I don't know if he's going to be a starting center for years to come in the NBA, but he's going to be like a 12-year vet. He's going to work in the NBA. I don't know what it's going to look like. Maybe he is, a future. I think, I've said this before. He kind of plays similarly to Rudy Gobert, especially defensively. Like, I think his ceiling is even a better player than Rudy Gobert is, and that's a 3-time defensive player of the year. Like, that's how high I am on one Khaman Maluach. I don't know if that's exactly where he's going to land. I don't know if he's going to be a starting center for his entire career. But I do know that this is going to work. That's the first step in it. I can't be watching this games and thinking to myself, man, he looks lost. Because he did look lost for the first 2 games. And then halfway through his rotational minutes in that second game against the Nets, he kind of started to get it figured out. I think it was that second game against the Nets. I could be wrong, but either way, you saw that growth. You saw the light bulb kind of go on, and he put it together for long stretches tonight. Again, against a Lakers team that was mostly healthy outside of a 65-year-old LeBron James and a Rui Hachimura, who Lakers fans will tell you they don't even like that much either. So, really strong showing from Khaman Maluach tonight. Let's talk about Koby Brea and Rasheer Fleming. I got some interesting thoughts on Koby Brea, and we'll do those next. First, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at the FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's right, pick a bet. Put $5 down, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I've been looking at some of these lines. I've gotten pretty much everything right ever since week 1, and I was off by half a point betting for or on or against the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are plus 6.5 this week at home against a Green Bay Packers team. Now it's going to be 70% Green Bay Packer fans, but still being at home, familiarity, that's a thing. I'd take the Cardinals to cover that for now. I take the Cardinals to cover that. But if you want to feel really good about it, just put $5 down on the Packers to win that game. The Packers are going to win that game. And then, when the Packers win, if the Packers win, you put your $5 down and win $300 in bonus bets. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. So I got to talk about my guys, Koby Brea and Rasheer Fleming. I think Rasheer Fleming is kind of just as advertised right now. I was really impressed with him on the defensive side of the ball today. I've noticed a few things. One, he's always looking for the block, and he does it pretty conservatively outside of, Austin Reeves kind of getting the best of him. And there are some things that I think he got away with in college because he was just the pro playing in college basketball that I don't think he's going to get away with in the NBA. He had a couple of fouls tonight, namely on Austin Reeves, where he's kind of swiping down, where he has to understand in the NBA, that's not going to work. You're going to get called for that. But outside of that, he got in some passing lanes. He had a steal tonight. He had a block tonight. He only had 1 turnover. It wasn't like he was turning over the ball at a super high clip. And late in that game, he kind of found his stride from 3-point land. And here's the other thing. Before I get to Koby Brea. Nigel Hayes-Davis, I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. I don't see it. There's the few things I feel like I've been right on. I feel like I was right on Khaman Maluach. I feel like I was right on this Suns team identity. Nigel Hayes, people have tried to gas this guy up, and I never listened to that stuff. I will watch with my eyes. My eyes won't lie to me. And from game 1, I have not been impressed with Nigel Hayes. And I had said, Rasheer Fleming should play over Nigel Hayes. And consistently, people were like, no, make him earn it. I'm like, he's already earned it. It's not close anymore. You're starting Rasheer Fleming, who has shown better defensively and better offensively, too. And Rasheer Fleming hasn't been some sort of flamethrower from deep. It's not close anymore. You're starting Rasheer Fleming over Nigel Hayes, which what I mean by that is you're playing them over Nigel Hayes. You're not playing him in obviously the starting lineup. But in that second group, you're talking about a coin toss between Royce O'Neal and Rasheer Fleming. And whoever comes in after that, it's Rasheer. It's not Nigel. Nigel Hayes, like, it's a cool story. It's not working. He was not good tonight. Again, 4 for 12, 2 for 3, and just had some pretty boneheaded plays, I thought, defensively. And I know he had one bad foul. How many times did he foul tonight? He only had one. Okay, so he had one bad foul, and it was on, Austin Reeves, where he swiped down, where you got to be more disciplined than that. So Rasheer Fleming, I think, is firmly in that second rotation, and he should be. He is going to be a very strong 3-and-D guy. I just think he just needs to play more. Here's the other thing. I know the statistics. This is where I should be saying to you guys, like, oh, look, I was right again. But again, my eyes won't lie to me. Watch the game. What does that tell you? And then read the statistics and then say, oh, that's interesting. I told you guys, like, yeah, send Koby Brea to the G League. Like, just let him just get, 20 shots up every night and do what he does best and maybe try to become a little bit of a better defender. I know he shot 2 for 12 tonight. I know he was 0 for 6 from his sweet spot, that being the 3-point jumper. But I kind of liked what I saw from Koby Brea. I thought he was in the right spots. I thought at times he got in passing lanes. He had a steal in this game. He also had a couple of really good passes. He played 25 minutes tonight off the bench and had 5 assists. That's the third most assists on the team. One back of being tied for second. I know he didn't shoot the ball super effectively, but do any of us really think Koby Brea can't shoot from 3, doesn't have a strong stroke from 3 or from around the basket? Like, he's going to be fine shooting the ball. It's the other things. How are you going to impact the game in other ways? I thought defensively tonight, he didn't get hunted. And I thought that's a step up from where Koby Brea was. Like, he's a minus defender right now. Can you be someone that the other team doesn't exploit? And the Lakers didn't really exploit Koby Brea. He had no fouls in this game. And then here's the other thing. How are you going to affect the game from the offensive side of the ball outside of shooting the ball? Because, if anyone's shooting it, Koby Brea is still likely 4th on the court at times, whenever you want him to get the ball to shoot. He has to affect the game in different ways, and he did that tonight passing the basketball. So I know when I talk about Koby Brea over the last couple weeks, I've been excited about him too. I think he can be a good player down the line. And I've argued he needs more G League reps. Let him go shoot. Let him go get stronger and figure out how to be a little bit better defensively. But I kind of liked what I saw. The promise was there. Now, I'm not saying he should play over Jalen Green or Grayson Allen or Devin Booker or Colin Gillespie for that matter. All I'm saying is I saw the vision. I saw the promise. And although the stat sheet wasn't great, it felt like he was always in the right spots, didn't feel like he got picked on defensively, made some really good passes, and he just shot the ball poorly. That's going to happen sometimes. And this was his first real consistent, in-game reps. The Suns have been kind of hiding him as of recently. So I was kind of impressed. Overall, really impressive game for the Phoenix Suns and their rookies. Really impressive progress report. This isn't a report card. This is, let's just check on and see how they're doing. We'll check in December again, report card style. We got one more progress report coming up in November. Then we'll see how it is in December and, get a harsher grade on them, if you will. But overall, I was really impressed and blown away by the Suns tonight because they had every reason to lose this game, and I wouldn't have said a singular thing about losing this game. The Lakers had everyone. The Suns used their identity to their advantage. Grit, hustle, do all the little things, and Lakers couldn't replicate that. And again, just another feather in the cap for you to know that this team's going to be fun to watch this year. But with that being said, guys, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Hit me up, at me, DM me. Let's talk. Let's be friends. Hit the like, share, subscribe button. And for everyone tuning in, I'm Benjamin Garcia, and it's been Locked On Phoenix Suns. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.